Hey, this is Matthew Harvey here with the 12 o'clock siren recording live at the 903 Broadband Studios on Cowboy Corner on the southeast side of the downtown Leonard Square. On my left hand is James Cryptocurrency Hartley.
No, see, you messed it up again, because that's not me with the guest that we have today.
I know, but we were just talking about it.
I do have some Bitcoin. A few. Or not, no.
You got a coin?
Excuse me, I do not have a few Bitcoins.
Prove it.
Well, I got some of a Bitcoin. How about that?
Pieces of Bitcoin.
Pieces of, Satoshis? Is that what they're called, gentlemen?
Sats. They're in the know.
They're in the know. Who do we got, Matthew?
Today we have Dave Cullar and Ryan Ogeltree of FMI Realty. Welcome, folks.
Hey, guys. How are y'all?
Doing good.
Pretty good. How's it going?
Yeah.
Good.
Applause.
Thanks for joining us. We just had a little bit of a pre-conversation that we probably didn't expect to have. Really.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it was
Got
good.
knee deep in some cryptocurrency talk.
Yeah, we're gonna circle back to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
So
that might be on the recap. We'll see.
yeah.
Guys, you know real estate in the Fannin County area, from what I understand.
That's the rumor, right?
We try to.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us about yourselves.
David, you start. You gotta go.
Yes, sir. My name is David Cullar.
Yep.
I'm with FMI Realty.
Okay.
Grew up at Ravenna, Texas, and
Big thriving metropolis that
yeah.
it is. Yep.
graduated in 1982 and found my way away for many, many years. Wound up in Illinois in grad school, wound up in Wisconsin, and then worked in higher ed for a few years. Was assistant dean of students at UT Austin. Used to handle all their discipline issues. Got tired of starving and decided to get into real estate.
That's when he bought his first Bitcoin.
Yeah. Got into real estate. Started working in home building. Have been doing all that for 27, 8 years, something like that now.
Okay.
And came back up to Bonham about 3 years ago and started working around the new lake and doing a lot of real estate up there.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. Ryan?
Hey, what's up? I'm Ryan. I also work at FMI Realty with Dave. I was born and raised in Grapevine, Texas.
I've heard of it.
At this point, kind of a metropolis, unfortunately.
It is, yeah.
When I was growing up there, it was a little bit more like Leonard. Now it's kind of crazy.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. Even then it wasn't.
Grapevine wasn't this small back
At some
then. There's
point it
no
was.
way.
How old are you, Ryan?
I am 29 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I've told this story before, but my wife told me she was from a small town of Round Rock. And I was like, how many people did you graduate with? And she goes, 500. And I said, I graduated with 46 or something, and 54, I think. And she was like, well, and there were 4 other high schools that graduated 500 people. So
Based off all this new information, if you want to just redact my statement out of there in post-production, you guys do
Round Rock
post-production.
has an IKEA.
yeah, we'll edit and post.
Yeah.
No, you're
So,
all
yeah,
good. We
Just
win.
gonna cut that out. Okay, yeah. So I'm from Grapevine. It's massive.
Always has been.
Always has, yeah.
No, yeah. So I was born and raised there, and I graduated high school in 2010. Went in the Marine Corps, spent 5 years in the Marine Corps, kind of got some cool experiences, and came back. And then I ended up a project manager at an oil firm. Last year, oil went down to negative $30 a barrel. And so I decided to go into a less volatile industry.
Yeah.
And
So you chose crypto.
I chose crypto and real estate.
Yeah.
2008 and 2017 don't scare me.
Right.
And so, so now I've been up in FMI since, I think, June. I was working for 6 months down in the Grapevine area before that. And I knew about this lake because my family's owned property in Bonham since 2004. And just dove right into it.
Well, that was fortuitous timing then.
Yeah,
huh?
right on.
So what'd you do in the Marine Corps? What was your MOS?
Signals intelligence.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Ironically named. I ate a lot of crayons.
Yeah,
That's what I
man.
did.
Absolutely. So you being from Grapevine, then you were MCRD then out there, and
Yep.
you went out there. Cool. How long were you in?
5 years.
5 years, huh? And said, I'm done.
Yeah. I grew a pretty gnarly beard, and I had to shave it every day.
I know.
And it was a pain.
Yes.
So now I don't shave anymore.
No, that's
It's
awesome.
great.
It's a good reason.
I was in San Diego in 2016 out at the Amphib base and then at Navy North, and we were doing some training. We had a Marine guy with us, and he kind of palled around with us all week, and he was thinking about getting out. And at the end of the week, I said, hey, man, you still think about getting out? And he's like, I'm thinking about joining the Air Force after hanging out with us all week.
I have. I'm pretty involved in my youth group, at my church, just because I try to steer them away from my decisions I've made.
Yeah.
And they're always like, "I want to join the Marine Corps. What do you think?" And I'm like, "The Air Force. That's what you want. You want to join the Air Force. You want to get a free house.
Yep.
And this whole thank you for your service thing, everybody gets it. It doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
go to the Air Force.
Yeah.
Enjoy the air conditioning.
Uniforms look similar, man. It's all good.
Yeah, the tiger print looks way better.
Right. No, that's cool, man. We love our Marines. I do a lot of work with them, actually. Even now in the Air National Guard, I work with some Marine ATC guys quite a bit, and they're awesome
Cool.
dudes. Awesome dudes. So
Awesome.
okay. So
David was the speaker at our most recent Chamber of Commerce meeting
yeah,
and had some interesting info about the new lake
Mm-hmm.
going in up at Bonham, just east of Bonham, Lake Bodark,
Kind of north and east.
north and east. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does
but,
it does it attach to Lake Bonham?
It doesn't. A lot of people think it does.
Okay.
It does not. It comes right up behind the dam. I mean, it's very close.
Really?
Gotcha.
But it does not touch. And a
From
lot of-
maps, it kind of looks like they might have some
Yeah.
interaction or something.
There's so much misinformation out there. A lot of people, they're going to tear the dam out on Lake Bonham, and no,
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not. It's not going to
It's
change
the logistics
anything
of
there.
that would be insane.
sure,
Yeah.
sure.
So.
Well, and that's out east. There's like Lake Bob Sandlin and Cypress Springs. They kind of share a dam, I think. Like they kind of back up to each other.
Yeah, this really isn't going to share a dam. It
Yeah.
just so happens that it's going to come right up behind it. I mean, you may be able to stand on the dam at Lake Bonham and throw a rock into Bodark, but
That's
it's not,
cool, though.
But it's not gonna touch. There's
Wow.
actually some space there.
So, level set for us. What do people need to know about Lake Bodark? Like as this is coming in, like what's if you could get some information out there that like, all right, this is coming.
Yeah, it's here. Really.
Yeah.
It's called Bodark Lake. It's not a Corps of Engineers lake. It is done by the North Texas Municipal Water District, which since y'all have this big water treatment plant here, I'm sure you know better than most.
Sure. Yep.
So the regulations on it are not as strict as a lot of the core lakes. For example, it's the first lake in Texas in 30 years. However, we are going to allow boat docks on that lake, and a lot of the core lakes will not allow that.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons there's a lot of excitement over it. There's going to be a limited amount. A lot of people think, they can just go throw one up, but got to be certain areas. It's got to meet certain criteria. When you do build it, there's a lot.
Almost like an HOA or something.
Yeah.
Sure.
They zoned this lake 5,000 feet out from the water line before they ever built it.
Right.
And that's the first time that's been done also. So that's pretty unusual as well.
Sure.
So a lot of it's kind of interesting right now. What I'm winding up doing is working a lot with the developers. I've got large farm tracts that have just been farms or cotton fields or what have
Sure.
you. And all of a sudden you've got lake developers from out of state coming in here, and they're trying to figure out how to put in lots and what's going on. And
Everybody wants a piece.
everybody wants a piece, and we're so close to the Metroplex. Just through a marketing effort that we've got going, we've got over 1,000 people on a waiting list waiting for 1 acre lots.
Wow.
Wanting to build, 1 to 5 acre lots on the water.
Well, we'll dispense with my next question. No. So how big is it? 12, 15,000 acres?
Almost 17.
Almost 17. Okay, so that's a sizable lake then. I mean,
It
I
is.
think like Texoma is like 90 or something. It's huge.
Let's say it's like half of Levon, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Right in there. It's I think, I think it's about almost as big as Levon.
Okay.
Very close. I
So-
don't remember actually what Levon is.
Will this be like a recreational lake? Is that kind of
Part of it.
Part of it.
It's interesting what they did. And if you ever go out there and look at it, there is a bridge that goes across the lake from the north to the south.
sure?
And they said, okay, everything to the east of this bridge is going to be recreational.
Okay.
And they cleared all the trees out, so people are going to, the water's a little deeper over there. Of course, the closer you get to the dam, typically the deeper it gets.
Sure.
They cleared that out and have left it where you'll be able to water ski and do all those fun things. The other side of the lake, the west side of the lake, back towards Bonham, is going to be what they're calling the fishing side of the lake.
Stumpy and
Stumps, trees left there. They did cut a swath right down the middle and cleared the trees out of there where you can navigate.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
that is good to know.
You will be able to navigate and go down through there, but as far as right up to the shore, they're leaving all the trees are there, and they're not going to allow you to take them out.
Right.
Some of the underbrush, some of the smaller stuff you may be able to do, but they're going to leave the bigger trees. Over time, a lot of the softwoods will disappear, and but the hardwoods will be sticking up there for many years to come.
Sure.
But the good news is they have put some really high-powered, genetically superior fish in there in these super secret locations.
They got that COVID jab, didn't they?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
The
something.
vaccinated bass.
So they're going to be the fishing is going to be wonderful on that end.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's called the Lunker Project, and if you go to Lake Fork or Richland Chambers, one of these big bass fishing lakes, and you pull out a 13-pounder or bigger, you send it into these guys. They give you some special sticker that's a big deal in the fishing community.
Sure.
And they actually breed these 13-pound bass, and what they've discovered is that bass aren't like goldfish where they're like stuck to the size of their environment. They can actually be genetically larger, and so they've specifically bred these massive bass.
I like it.
And they put back like 100,000, 150,000 of these little babies in the different lakes they got them from, and there was something like 400,000 babies they put in this Lake Bodark.
That is awesome.
Wow. Already?
Yeah, so I have a friend who's
Excellent.
an avid fisherman. He didn't even know what I did. We had just met, and then he was talking about Bodark Lake. I was like, "What do you know about Bodark Lake?" And he was like, "Oh my gosh, the bass fishing is going to be
Like he's like,
unreal."
I can't wait.
Yeah, but apparently you got
Look
to
at my
wait.
sticker.
Apparently it takes time for babies to grow up into big fish, so we've got a couple years. But
Yeah, I
it's-
wonder what the cycle is on that. Seems like it would be kind of fast. I don't know.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
Probably not many predators, I guess.
Not an
if
end.
it's a
except me.
new lake. Yeah, right. Yeah.
one of our clients has one of the ponds, and I can't say who, but has one of the ponds, and they have put all these fingerlings in that, and the water is just about to come over and wash into that pond.
Oh man.
And then they'll start washing out into the lake, and all bets are off when that happens. They're going to go crazy.
Wow.
So the land underneath the lake, is that eminent domain? How's that work?
It's
Any
owned
idea?
by the Water District.
Okay.
Yeah, North Texas Municipal Water District bought that. So, but you'll be able to go out and have recreation on it. And yes, it was taken by eminent domain.
Yeah.
So, but they paid people
Fair market value.
They
I,
paid
their
well,
money.
I'm not going to go that far.
Yeah.
No.
I guess it all depends on where you're standing, really.
It does.
Yeah.
They received dollars for their
Yeah.
land.
Man, I'm gonna say it's y'all in real estate. I sold a piece of property back in March of this year and wished I still had it.
Yeah.
And I did well. Like I was like, oh man, I'm so happy about this. And then a couple days ago, I was like, man, it would have been really nice to still have that piece of property.
I drove by it today.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was beautiful. It was on Highway 78, 25 acres. It was awesome.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And right between Bailey and Bonham on 78.
Oh, okay.
But you still won, right?
Oh,
Win's a
yes.
win, right?
Yeah, a win's a win. That's I told that to my dad, who like I told you earlier, dabbles in real estate, and I was like, man, I kind of wish I still had it, and he said, take your wins when you can, and move on, So
I met with an appraiser today, and we were driving over a property on the lake, and he was looking for what they call comps, which are sales that have happened, and so they can establish a value. And he's like, what do you have? What do you have that's similar? I said, well, I've got one, but it was in December. And he said, oh, December. Well, yeah, that's about a 30% increase, since December.
Well, I just refied my house, and they gave me a appraisal waiver. They're like, oh, you're fine. They're like, you don't even need and I just built it 3 years ago. And I said, okay, we're getting our stuff done. Because I was going to have to come out of pocket, for the appraisal. And they were like, don't even need it. I was like, that's good. But I kind of wanted to know.
Yeah.
Kind of wanted to know, but not enough to actually pay for an appraisal.
Yeah, right.
So,
What are y'all expecting up there? Residential, marine, as far as marinas go, things like that.
Yes.
Yes, good,
Both.
good.
sure.
It's all coming.
Okay.
I know there's a lot of residential coming because I'm dealing with the developers right now. They're actually starting to turn dirt for lots.
Yeah.
It's happening. So
And with boat docks, you're talking waterfront property.
Mhm.
So are you talking like neighborhoods that go a few streets deep? I guess on inland, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
there'll be nice developments, gated communities. There'll be deed restrictions. There'll be on the boat docks. All those kinds of things are coming.
Cool.
You're going to have stuff that's not quite as fancy, as that, but that's the stuff that people are concentrating on right now. That land is in high demand, and it's hard to get.
Okay, so that's what that. Let me ask this question, right? My wife and kids, we have a boat, and we were, as this was coming, we were talking about like, okay, could we go up there and buy a piece of property, build a house? Is that out of reach for middle class folks?
Right now, there's just nothing available.
Right.
You're not going to find a 1 to 5 acre lot very seldom.
I'm going to come at that from another angle.
Okay.
Will there be a marina I can get a boat slip on and build a little house on?
There are areas zoned for that.
Okay.
No one has stepped up yet
Okay.
to say we're putting a marina here.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
So, but there are areas where that could be.
Yeah.
luckily I won the lottery last week, so
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, just hold on to your crypto.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
right.
I'll just unload all the Shiba Inu I have. Yeah. No.
Yeah, there's 70 plus miles of buildable shoreline on the lake.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Cool.
so really the problem right now is there's plenty of land to buy. Just a lot of people have like 800 acres and they're like, I'm not selling. They
Sure.
inherited it from their great grandfather.
Sure.
And it's a lot of emotion tied to it, and so.
There's
that's a lot of what
that,
we're
and then
dealing
there's a
with.
lot of, I call it irrational exuberance. Yeah, you're going to get really good prices, but you're not going to get those
Yeah.
prices.
It's not $2 million
Yeah,
an
what
acre
was that?
yet.
What was that
Yeah.
new listing we saw today?
The
What
one
was
I saw
per acre?
today was $152,000 an acre is what he wanted for it, and it was
That
a
seems a bit
118
aggressive.
acre tract. It was a little aggressive.
Raw land, no
Well,
infrastructure.
okay, so I know proximity to the Metroplex plays a big part in this, but like if you look at like Lake Eufaula up in Oklahoma, I still see lakefront stuff for like $10,000 an acre up there. Now I know this is far and but that's a big destination lake,
Yeah.
But like what you just said, you're not going to be able to wake up at that lake and drive to work in Frisco.
No,
Like
no.
how many people are going to be willing to wake up at Bodark Lake
Yeah.
and drive 50 minutes to Frisco?
Yeah, because I drive to Frisco now for my job, so if we could just
Straight
move-
down 121.
Yeah.
I commute up from Grapevine to Bonham. It's
Jeez,
not
man.
that.
Wow.
And the thing about that is, asking that kind of price, you still have streets that need to be put in. You still have water that needs to be put in.
Yeah.
You still, all those things. Developers have got to have something to get some money out of it.
Right. So in y'all's experience, let me ask this then, right? Say I'm a landowner there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm asking some ridiculous price. It was my understanding that a lot of times landowners will somewhat develop their own property to entice that. Like say, I'm going to bring in the utilities. I'm going to bring in some road and gravel or asphalt or whatever it is to make it a little bit more. Does that happen? I mean, is that?
A lot of people start out with that idea until they
Right.
get into it.
Well, yeah, and they realize,
And oh, wow, that costs that much?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
But I mean, to me, it seems like it's a simple ROI question. Like, what can I get raw? What can I get,
Exactly.
improved? And what's the delta between that?
But a lot of times they grossly miscalculate their costs to get to that improvement. So you think, oh, well, I'm just going to build roads. Well, there's so much that goes into
Yeah.
road building.
Yeah.
They build a road, then they got a massive puddle at one turn, and then that,
Yeah.
a lot of times you're not recapturing those costs in your
It's
sales.
like putting a pool at your house. You're not getting it back.
I would say if anybody on this podcast wants to improve their property before selling it, please give us a call at FMI Realty,
Sure.
and we would love to just advise you. We're not trying to sell for you or
Sure.
anything. We're just
No, that's good. I
because
mean,
we know one guy in Bonham who kind of took that route, and well, I don't,
it just didn't work out like he wanted.
it's working out.
Sure.
It just you just want to be careful.
Yeah.
So like, from my standpoint, the stress of taking that on, right? Like, as
Yeah.
like a dude that has to work 40 hours a week, and I got a little bit of money to maybe invest and make my life better, but like, man, that's a lot of capital expense going out to hopefully get some return. On the other hand, real estate's like one of the safest investments you can make in some senses, So
It also goes in cycles. A lot of things that go, I remember the bad old days.
yeah, 2008 was rough.
Uh-huh.
I built my first home in 2007, September of 2007. And I was like, oh, sweet. We walked into $30,000 of equity, and that lasted about a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And
Bum,
then,
bum, ba-bum.
yeah.
My dad got divorced in winter of 2006, and they sold the house.
Mm,
And
Wow.
I'm never, I very much support marriage, but
sure. Yeah, that was good
That
timing.
was fortuitous timing.
Yeah. It really was.
So I've looked at the maps of the proposed lake, and I was wondering if you have any insight on this. Will there be any? I'm a Texoma guy. Will there be any islands?
I don't believe so.
Ah,
No.
I love the islands.
I could really go for a good old island in
Yeah.
the middle of that thing.
But I'll
Yeah.
take 70 miles of buildable shoreline. That's fine.
So one, you probably don't have the answer for this. This is more of a geological question, but every lake you go to is typically beach sand. How does that become sand? You know what I'm talking about? I know this isn't your forte.
They haul it in, I think.
There's no way.
Yeah, no, they bring in the sand for
Yeah.
the beach.
All these core beaches, core
I think
lake
they do
beaches.
at Texoma.
Do they really?
You got to think about most lakes that are built, they're dug out, and so
Yeah.
that sediment that's left after you dig out there is not designed to be top layer sediment.
Right.
So, really, anything that special like that looks like it's top layer is artificially brought in.
Really? Did I
Yeah.
just expose my ignorance or something? Or
No, but I mean, we were up at Texoma. You know, we go up there quite a bit, and we were up there in July at this one beach, and it was like a beach. You know,
Yeah.
like it was like going down to Gulf Shores or something. And
Well-
I had that thought. I was like, this isn't
well, the islands at
black
Texoma
land. You know,
are a perfect example. Like, did somebody bring sand out there for that? There's no way.
Some of that may be sandy.
That's
you
gotta
know,
be sandy,
naturally.
right?
And I was starting to say there may be some places on the north side of the lake
Yeah.
that are closer to Red River, and
Yeah.
that starts to get a little bit sandier there.
Yeah.
Stuff on the south end is probably going to be more of the black clay,
yeah.
you know, that we're used to in Fannin County. The one thing about this lake is most people don't realize they didn't go dig a lake.
Mhm.
They
They
built
just-
a
Right.
dam.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it. They
So
just
nothing was dug out.
they cut some trees and built a dam. There was really no excavation to speak of.
Isn't there like only like one or two natural lakes in
I
Texas?
believe so.
One.
And
Yeah,
Which
lake,
one is
lake,
that?
Is it Lake Cypress or not Cypress?
Oh,
have to
you,
look
you
that
caught
Caddo,
me.
Caddo. Lake
Now you
Caddo
exposed-
Oh
Lake.
yeah,
Yeah, you're
that's
right.
it.
You're
Caddo
right.
Lake.
Spot on. Do you
Caddo
know?
Lake, is that the one that sits on the border between Louisiana and? Oh yeah.
Yeah, it has
I
those
see
big
people
trees.
like I see people water skiing in there. I'm like, there are alligators in there, man. Stop! You're gonna hurt yourself.
That's some good motivation not to fall off.
Good motivation not to get on water skis.
Dave actually brings up another really good point about the lake, I think, is the fact that it's not dug out. And that top layer sediment, when you take that top layer off and you have those layers underneath, those get kicked up really easily up into the water. The
Yeah.
way the density works and stuff. I'm not a scientist, I don't know.
Sure.
But
Stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night though.
exactly. The Leonard Holiday Express, huh? But that top layer that's there now is much harder for it to get disturbed. And so theoretically that should lead to a much more clear lake. It's not
Okay.
as cloudy as some of other lakes that we enjoy.
Yeah.
What-
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I was at Texoma last 2 weekends ago and it was cloudy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really.
What communities are underneath the lake, if any? Do you know?
I really don't
Did
think
anything
there's
get-
any.
They didn't have to move any bodies or anything.
What was the
Yeah,
question?
they did do that.
Yeah.
What communities are underneath the lake?
Communities. Yeah. I don't know if there's a little community that might,
Yeah.
Not really.
Like
Okay.
it used to be there.
Yeah,
Like,
they
sorry-
used to be
yeah.
there.
Like sorry,
I
Peter's
thought you meant like
Gulch.
Atlantis or something.
Yeah.
No, they got filled in. Like, I know Texoma is on top of a couple old communities from back in the day.
If Atlantis was in Fannin County, how far are we
man.
fallen? Okay.
Or they're just smart enough to make sure
Yeah.
nobody knew.
That's true. That's
Right.
true. Because it's
well-
good camouflage.
well
No, there was a
Yeah. go
delicate
ahead.
relocation of Indian.
Really?
Really?
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
the
interesting.
Caddo burial grounds. There
Okay.
was a massive one actually, and that actually delayed
Oh, of course it did.
a lot of the
Yeah.
things on the lake. It was not very well known, I don't think. But what was it? Did I read 90 archaeologists working out there as a team for a
It
long
was-
time?
Wow.
It was a gross lack of research. I think that they
Yeah.
didn't realize that was there.
But
Yeah, 'cause
it
we
was-
didn't.
We may be speaking out of turn here, but yeah, it.
It's all right. It's already done.
Yeah.
My mom will be furious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they worked, as I understand it, with the Caddo Nation or what have you.
Yeah.
They did all this stuff by the book. I mean, it wasn't.
So they did that. Luckily, they didn't like run onto like the spotted earthworm or something because that would have halted production for
Right.
ever.
Right,
You
but
know?
humans.
Yeah. No, it's whatever.
Of course,
Movable.
it's Fannin County. I don't think
Yeah.
there's many people that would have
They-
said, "Hey, we can't do
they
that."
found
What's
the
this
elusive-
big bone? It looks like a femur. I don't
They
know.
found the elusive brown coyote
Yeah.
and the spotted raccoon.
That's right. Well, let's say, speaking out of turn. Won't name any names, but there's some folks that built a lake down in Central Texas, and they were trying to private lake just on their own, and they were trying to go about it the right way. And a guy kind of off the record said, "Just go do it, because you start trying to work through everything. There's gonna be so much environmental stuff, and it's just gonna, And they're like, all right, so they just went and did it. Nobody said anything. So I mean, it's not a huge lake; it's 30, 40 acres, but
It's interesting.
yeah.
If it wasn't dug out, how deep is it? Any idea?
Yeah.
Or will it be
The deepest part, I believe, is going to be around 70 feet. So
considerable?
so it has some really deep portions to it. Now it varies everywhere you go. The west end will be a lot more shallow than the east end. The closer you are,
That
to
would be the
dam.
Lake Bonham end.
Yes,
Is that right?
That will be more shallow.
Okay.
The fishing side.
The fishing side. That's how we'll put it.
Okay.
So
And I think when we were talking to the chamber lunch, you said there was maybe a deep area for a marina for bigger boats, maybe, or something like that.
I may
Or
have
an area maybe zoned for.
Yeah, well, that's the recreational side
Okay.
that I was talking about.
Yeah.
You can over there will be quite a bit deeper,
Okay.
and you'll be able to navigate into the west side too, down that where they've cleared that.
Yeah.
But the bridge, actually, if you drive over the bridge, it's got a hump in it that goes up high, so you can get the bigger boats underneath it.
Any expectation of what big boats might be out there? Are we thinking about Lake Louisville styled yachts and stuff, or?
I think there's nobody knows for sure.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised.
Oh, there'll be some dude that couldn't get a spot on Texoma or
I'm just
Louisville.
hoping this lake turns into a place that we can get a boat slip, like I said, and have a weekend spot really close.
I think
Closer than Texoma.
Yeah.
the real question is how many people in North Texas right now want to be able to put a big boat like that on a lake that is not in a heavily populated area, I think the demand for it is going to, if you ask the right questions, you quickly come to the conclusion that the demand for this is going to be pretty serious.
Yeah.
The Paris elite will be there.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah. Both.
Man, I was going to say all three of them, but I didn't know if that was...
Mr. Baby Dolls.
You ever
and,
get out? Yeah.
Sorry, was that out of turn?
That's out of turn.
That guy lives out there?
Yeah.
Mr. Baby
Yeah,
Dolls?
he probably lives in Dallas.
His
or
commercials
Shreveport or
are
something.
great.
Yeah. Speaking of Paris, have y'all ever been out north of Paris? There is a I was heading up to Oklahoma one time, and there is a massive ranch out there with like the biggest metal building home I've ever seen, and it is awesome. Like I've driven by it several times. Anyway,
Okay.
love it.
I've
I
been
want
out there
a
on my
metal
way to
building
Beaver's Bend, but usually
home.
I'm either like driving and staring into space or
Just trying to
asleep in the
get
passenger
after
seat.
it. Oh man, it's a guy's like it looks like some dude, some like good old boy redneck from Paris that like likes to hunt and ride side by sides and stuff. Won the lottery. And he's like, I've made it.
Where's
I'm
Pit
gonna build a
Vipers?
big old barn.
Yeah, and he did, and it is awesome.
I'll have to
It's
keep an eye out for that.
huge, but it's just a big metal building, but it's a home, and I've seen it with the doors up, and he's got like
747.
no, like the like cherry picker, you can slide
Oh, yeah.
stuff, and
A big ass fan,
yeah,
probably.
Those barn dominiums, man, like it's
I love
kind of
them.
a fad, but it's really amazing.
I'd say it's functional and practical.
and you can make it
Genius.
as awesome as you want.
They every time I look into them, they found some new way to make things cheaper. Like they just started staining concrete. So they
Oh,
have
yeah.
foundation, they just stain the concrete. It's like $2 a square foot.
Yeah,
Versus
30 for hand scraped hardwoods or whatever.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, no. When we were building our home, I tried to talk my wife into a barn dough, and she's like, "I gotta have a farmhouse." I was like, "What's more farm than a barn?" But it didn't
Stable.
fly.
Exactly.
A stable. That's about it.
I guess.
Listen, if husbands had a chance in arguments, you'd win that one.
I
I'll
know
tell
it.
you that
I
right
know.
now.
I know it, but we didn't. So we're in a farmhouse.
How's your farmhouse?
So we have cool signs like "gather" and things.
That's good.
Yeah. Home is where the heart is.
Yeah.
So.
Tell us
Anyway.
about some of the unique opportunities around there, David.
Well, I don't know if that was a segue into opportunity zones.
Oh, you caught on, sir.
Damn.
Well done.
I'll give you a little brief intro here, and then Ryan is really more of an expert than I am.
Okay.
So I'll let him go into that. But there's a good portion around Bonham, up and down Highway 82, up to the south part of Lake Bonham, and into town, and some of the land out there that is in what is called an IRS designated opportunity zone, which several years ago in 2017 they started trying to identify some what they call at the time considered economically depressed areas where
Fair enough.
where people could come in, invest their money, and get a big tax break for doing it and bringing things along. I don't think they thought about how much economic prosperity that this lake is going to bring, so it just makes investing up there wonderful.
That much more attractive.
That much more attractive, so I'm going to let Ryan kind of tell you what that is and get into it. But it's unique. Bonham has got one just right around Bonham. It's not everywhere in the county. You can look up online and see where the map is.
Now, I looked up the map. I couldn't find it just now, but it looked like it ran 56.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Yeah,
56?
pretty much 56 up to 80. Well, it actually goes
To
up to the
it
southern
looks like it
part
goes
of
to
the
about to the west or east side of the square,
Yeah.
and then kind of up Main Street or whatever that is.
Goes on up
Maybe up
all
the
the way to the south part of the Lake Bonham,
Yeah.
and then goes out on 82.
Yeah, it's pretty large.
East and west, it's pretty big. So if you invest in there, I'm gonna let Ron tell you
Yeah,
what happens.
this what happens.
Yeah. So, well, it's essentially a 1031 exchange on steroids. That's kind of the buzz phrase for it.
Break that
if
down
you don't
real
know
quick.
what a 1031
Yeah.
tax change is, if you have some property and you sell that property and you do not wish to pay capital gains tax on it right away, you may then purchase through a lot of special specific routes and vehicles a different piece of property. So someone has some land they inherited from their grandfather, and they sell it for a lot of property. They might want to buy a strip mall or some sort of rental property that brings in monthly income. You know, it's kind of a way to turn a huge chunk of money into monthly income and also not have to pay your capital gains tax until you'd sell.
But you're just deferring the taxes.
Yeah.
You know, a 1031 is. They say the goal of it. They call it a triple D. You defer, and you die.
Right.
Gotcha.
Doing a
So
capital
whoever
gain,
inherits it will have to do the same or sell it and pay the capital gains on you.
right? But but if you invest in an opportunity zone, it's all those good things, but you don't have to die.
Right.
So
Cool.
I'll let
Big
Brian
plus.
get into that.
Yeah, we're all about staying alive here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, a huge thing is, I think, is that the proceeds can come from any capital gains. So you're not stuck in just this piece of property. Let's say you're somebody who owned a business for many years and you decide to sell it, or you are someone who's invested in crypto, or you think the stock market's a bubble and you're trying to sell out of that. You know, all these things.
It is. Sorry.
This is not financial advice.
Yeah.
Which I should probably none of this is financial advice.
Yeah.
So there's a lot larger pool of investors who would potentially be interested in this, which is why I'm attracted to it. And so in Bonham, they like Dave said, they created this opportunity zone because they were just looking at data on a spreadsheet and they're like, all right, what's the lowest 20 cities or 30 areas or whatever. Somebody picked Bonham, didn't know this lake was going in, and so this is already an area that was fantastic for investment. So let's say you're somebody who's had, let's say the example of having a company for 40 years and you sell it for $20 million. Well, if you find a building in Bonham that's in this zone, you purchase that building and then you have to double your cost basis. So let's say the building costs $200,000. You have to spend $200,000 renovating it. So that's kind of the whole mission from the government is we want to take these lower income areas and really try and jazz them up.
Yeah.
Now,
so to
is
speak.
this
It's a bad word.
commercial and residential?
So residential, if it is so the whole thing is you and
If it's
if
a
I want
rental,
to,
right?
If
yes,
you're
it
you're
has to
renting
be
it
a
out.
business
Yeah.
that is a rental business.
Sure.
Gotcha.
Essentially.
It just can't be your personal residence.
You can't buy it, spruce it up, and live in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It-
you
it
can't-
Can, it can also be just vacant land that you develop.
Okay.
You know.
And then you don't have to double your cost basis because it's adjusted just for the building. So if you
buying the lot.
buy a lot and you build whatever you want on it, bam,
Wow.
that's a qualified
checks the
opportunity.
block.
Yes.
Ooh.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So there are a lot of blocks.
I don't have much money. That's attractive.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
Right. I mean, for
you got a
your,
pretty nice building here.
for your low. Well, you think it's nice. Look at the ceiling.
1031 exchange.
I used the bathroom earlier and it was
Oh
fantastic.
yeah, you know how nice it is.
I thought the bathroom was well lit and clean.
Inviting, even.
Yes.
I.e., dark and disgusting.
I didn't say
I'm
that.
sorry.
Yeah.
No, so
I'm working on that.
the real and so if you have so the way it works is you would have to invest in a qualified opportunity fund, which is kind of the long-term goal for Dave and I think is to create one of these funds. And it's simple as that. You put the money in the fund. You just take your quarterly updates of how it's doing.
Would it be kind of like a REIT?
So a REIT has all sorts of nasty restrictions.
Thanks, government.
Yep.
Yep.
And you know more about REITs than me, but essentially, if you are someone who manages a REIT, your life is probably not very fun.
Sure.
There's so many.
But if you're invested in one, it could be okay.
It's okay as long as I wouldn't invest in a REIT in Bonham because you're limited at a certain point, right? Versus theoretically, if you're invested in an opportunity fund, which is what invests in these opportunity zone businesses, you don't have a cap on what you can gain back or appreciate what can appreciate the value. So backtracking a little bit, if you bought this building and you doubled the cost basis of this building, and you would be invested in this fund, which would own the business in the building. So it's not just the physical property, but it's also the business. So let's say you guys, you also
I sell stuff next door.
You sell stuff next door.
Yeah.
You move that there. Well, this fund actually is invested in your business. So it's also a great way to raise capital for your business because you can say, hey, you have this, large sum of money that you owe capital gains tax on. Why don't you invest in this fund that also owns my business?
Lowers your tax burden.
And then I'll show you how my business idea is going to take your investment to the moon. And then whatever money whatever value it appreciates after your initial investment, you don't pay any capital gains tax on that as long as you've held a position in that qualified opportunity fund for 10 years. So it's a long-term hold, which is scary for some people who want to, maybe invest in SHIB and it go up overnight.
I also want that.
But a
standard
diversification, sir.
So it's a great opportunity for, first of all, people who don't really appreciate capital gains tax and that being done to them just because they had something go up in value. And
which Mr. Biden wants to double on us.
Yes.
President Biden, let's have it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He's your president. Yep. Our president.
He is.
He is.
Is.
Not my president. I'm just kidding.
Hey, you know what? It got said a lot prior.
He's my president.
He is. I
I'll
guess.
say it. Let's go, Brandon.
Which, to be fair,
but I can say that afterwards.
That's
kinda.
true.
Not to
can.
take
That's
this.
a hilarious story, by the way.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Just where that came from. Anyway, sorry.
I've heard the Brandon name. I still not.
You don't know the
understand?
story?
Oh man.
Oh.
Okay.
I'll
So
later.
no, I gotta say it. There was a bad chant that's going around. I'm sure you've heard it at college football games about our president, right?
Yes.
Like the okay. So
I've seen it. I've seen it at
expletive
houses
Joe
next door to
Biden.
schools as well.
yes. So that was saying a lot. They were at NASCAR, and the lady interviewing the winner, they were saying the chant, and she goes, "Oh, they're saying let's go, Brandon."
That's
and
amazing.
Just not it. So everybody
That's
just
so
took it
great.
and ran with it.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. It's awesome.
I love it.
Going back to one thing, I'll try and change the subject on us here. But something Ryan was talking about was opportunity funds having to invest in these. That does not mean that individuals who form a corporation or a husband and wife who form a partnership can't be the ones to invest in the opportunity zone. That works. I mean, it can be that small a scale to do.
Yeah, you self-identify through the IRS. You just filled this form that says I'm a QOF, and then dodging gains.
My
Tax.
wife and I are qualified opportunity fund. That's us.
To the moon.
Yeah. And
Rocket ship emoji.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's
Yeah,
fascinating.
that's the rough synopsis of it, I guess. It's not very sexy. Can I say that on this podcast?
can.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
That's PG. That's good.
I think it's PG.
Yeah.
I think
It's
I said.
edgy,
I think
but-
I said butt earlier.
You did.
Maybe.
You said let's go, Brandon.
I
So,
did. Well,
yeah.
that's cool. So this opportunity zone is unique in that it is right next to what expectedly will be a booming real estate market, and thus
already is.
It's
well, yeah, I
inside.
mean, yeah, obviously, and it's going to trickle down into probably rentals and residential in Bonham, and then hopefully businesses come from that, obviously.
right.
When was this established? You mentioned that well before they thought about this lake. So,
No, it
Well,
was-
and I don't want to sit here and dog the government the whole time, but whoever built this lake, which is the water district, wasn't talking to the federal government and the state government who instated this tax law. And if they were, I'm sure they would have been like, this is not the place to put this because, like you said, and it's a Bonham. Everybody's going to drive through Bonham to get to the lake. That's coming from the Metroplex.
And this was established in 2017.
Okay.
So.
And the lake really did. I don't think the lake really had much buzz generated until the last like 6 months. Maybe is really when people started talking about the lake.
Mm-hmm.
So for whatever reason, the guys who knew about the lake and the guys who were choosing this opportunity zone location, they just didn't overlap.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a perfect storm for an investor, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's the IRS that established the opportunity zone.
So the IRS established the rules and regulations for opportunity zone, but it was actually Abbott's
And then
office
they
that chose the
allocate
zones.
where. Yeah, so they're just filtering a map by economic and
it
blah, blah,
was part of the tax cuts and everything that Trump did.
blah. Okay.
So when he did that, he said, "Okay, here's the opportunity zones. Now, governors, tell us where you want this.
Yeah.
This is how much
You
got."
figure it out.
And
You
so
know your state.
They gave it to us, and then the IRS says these are the rules you follow. And actually, Congress wrote the law, obviously. But
It's just the lines met.
yeah.
Perfect.
And so,
Yeah.
just like Ryan said, it's the perfect storm.
Yeah.
You've got a place that's economically on the rise.
Yeah.
And they're like, and it, it's not, let's face it, Bonham is, and that area up there has not been the economic mecca.
What? Sure. Yeah.
but it's got a whole lot of potential and a lot of stuff starting to happen. We're still a designated opportunity zone. It's a double whammy.
Yeah.
It's a place for people to stick some money.
You know how I knew Bonham was changing? I was at Walmart buying groceries, and I saw organic kimchi, and I was like, nobody
Oh, wow.
nobody in Bonham is buying organic kimchi from Walmart.
Well, somebody's
except me.
going, regular kimchi?
Yeah. Yeah, come on. Gosh.
That blows my mind more.
Yeah.
That there's any kimchi.
Manager, could you get organic kimchi?
Well, this just won't
Could
do.
you just could you get something that smells less like fake stuff?
I do not want my kimchi to come from a genetically modified animal. Please.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
I want my kimchi to come from a Korean in like San Francisco or
Yes.
LA, probably.
They also, that same trip,
Maybe
I
New
saw escargot at Bonham Walmart.
Bonham Walmart.
That one
I've
scared
only
me.
seen escargot 3 times in my life. Once was with you in Chicago,
I ate it. It was awful.
and once was in Miami. But Bonham shouldn't be in that conversation.
Third time was on my
I'm
back
sorry.
porch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
My
right.
mom made me eat escargot when I was 12 years old.
It's not
she
bad.
said, try this. And I was like, what is it? She's like, it's kind of like chicken, which is what they all say.
Yeah.
And then I ate it, and then she told me it was a snail.
Yeah.
After I said it was good, and I was like, that wasn't good.
Ours
I was lying.
in Chicago, I remember it being blue.
Yeah, it was blue. So the first time I ever had escargot, it was wonderful because it was in mushroom caps with cheese melted over it with a little bit of snail meat. And I was like, this is fantastic. I love this. And then we went to this, I don't know, it was also like 4 a.m. and
Yeah.
we'd been out for a while. We were in Chicago, and I said, I'll take the escargot. And it came out and it was like blue.
Had a blue film, like a
Yeah.
liquid or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never seen blue food, and it changed my mind that night.
Maybe it wasn't even escargot. Who knows?
Might not have been blue.
Yeah. Yeah. Things were wild. Sorry.
Might not have been blue.
Yeah.
I love it.
But it was not as enjoyable as I remembered.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Tangent. We do that a lot here. So sorry, guys.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I was counting on tangents, honestly.
Oh, that's good.
I don't know if I can talk about an opportunity zone for
big-
30 minutes.
Big part of it.
Yeah.
I had a question about that. I do have a question still about the opportunity zone being made when it was. Is there an expiration on it?
So
I think you said something about limited time or
it's
possibly.
limited in how long you have until you have to pay those deferred capital gains tax, which would be on your initial investment, which would be 2026. However, the actual, like, if you bought this tomorrow and you're like, I want to hold this until I absolutely can, your the capital gains tax on your appreciated value would be tax free until 2046. So you
Okay.
got 25 years
Figure out
Okay.
what you're going to do.
to build your business up, sell it when you retire, and ride off into the sunset.
Wow. So if
whatever
you're
you're
in
doing.
the internet business, this is a great opportunity.
Yeah.
So,
Specifically
yes.
because you don't have walk-in. You don't have to rely on
Exactly.
walk-in.
If you are a non-retail,
Yeah.
if you're manufacturing,
Yeah,
lots of this
yeah.
opportunity zone is off of the square, and it's in just
Yeah. Warehouse district, if you will.
just bare
Yeah.
land. Go buy your land, build a granite yard or whatever,
Man.
and you have set yourself up for a lot of success in the future.
I've got 30 acres sitting on Highway 82 at the exit by McDonald's that is zoned commercial, sitting there in the opportunity zone
Can
Wow.
with
you
city utilities.
can you talk about price on that? Or is that,
Well,
I'm his representative, so if you want to
Yeah.
contact me about that,
okay.
I'm just kidding.
The 6.5
I just made you an
acres-
offer under the table.
Yeah.
There's 6.5 acres at the corner of Pecan and 82 up there, and that one is at $3 a square foot. And the remaining 23.6 acres, I think, left is at $2.50 a square foot.
Okay.
So
We'll have to do some math on that. I'm public school kids. So
yeah,
I got the calculator.
It's like $40, I think.
It basically works out on the 6.5 acres. It comes up to like 849,000 for
Gotcha.
the 24 acres. Approximately, it's going to be right at $2.5 million.
Okay.
Which
That makes it a lot easier for me. Thank you.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
phone's dead. Sorry.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
We talk in square foot.
It's not dead.
all the
Yeah,
day.
I'm just joking.
So.
That's a commercial thing, right?
Yeah, it's zone general business.
Yeah.
So it means you could do a storage unit, you could do a restaurant, you could do a hotel, you could go in and set up a crypto mining place. It doesn't matter, whatever
Yeah,
you want to
Talking
do.
our
Well,
So
language.
don't blow our business plan.
Yes.
Any new hot things coming into Bonham y'all know about? Want to talk about? Any new
Or can talk about. I know
Realty
there's
buzz?
probably
Well, there's always rumors going around. And I question every single one of them.
Disney bought
Oh,
100
yeah.
acres.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I heard they bought the lake.
Yeah.
Like Disney Bland.
Yeah.
That's what's
Disney
new.
Bland.
I sold a large tract up there last year, the first really big one, to a developer, and it took about 3 days for the rumor to get around that it was a Country and Western Star. And who'd bought it, and they were gonna turn it into the next Branson up there.
Oh.
Wow.
Absolutely not the truth.
Yeah.
And I never said anything about it, but
Yeah.
somehow that got out.
We're going to let this run its course.
Yeah, I just like, okay, whatever. People would call and ask me. I'm like, no.
I'd like to see the Bonham version of Branson.
There's actually
Would
some.
you?
Yeah.
Have you?
Like penny dollar city or whatever.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
When I was growing up in Bonham, I always I like dive restaurants and bars. Not
As
that
do
there's
we.
any bars.
We do too.
There used to be Whiskey River,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Still was like till a few years ago
well, it's gone now.
Yeah.
by the lake.
They
By the
closed
lake?
it down. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, it's closed. Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a few years.
that building's for sale, and it's in the opportunity zone.
There you go.
there you
Let's
go.
do it. That's it. Sold.
Any bar
Open
owners
my
out there that are
Ethereum
interested-
mining.
Yeah, the Whiskey. I can't think of a clever name. I
It's
tried.
all right. That's good
the-
effort though.
the
I
Solid.
had Disney Bland. I think that was a
That
hit.
was
that was a
really
Whiskey
good,
Crick.
yeah.
or
It's good.
I don't know.
See, now
Whis-
you're messing it up.
Whiskey
Stream.
Trickle.
Yeah, trickle. I like that. I like that whiskey trickle.
The that would be funny to just buy that place and name it something.
Yeah, just
really
put a
close.
sign. Well, we could probably put a sign on it for free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we probably could.
Like-
Yeah.
I know a guy lives
Or at
right
least
across
half
the
of
street
it.
from it.
Yeah.
At least half of it would be free. You already got whiskey there.
That's right.
Like completely different font. Just
Yeah.
says trickle.
Yeah.
But I used to go there growing up, and my friends were all fancy, not Whiskey River, but Bonham.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
To
Yeah.
to backtrack a bit.
Maybe why they're closed. Who
Yeah,
knows?
they got busted. No, and I would be like, oh, y'all gotta try this restaurant, and I would show them like Lucky Dragon. I don't know if you've ever been there. That place is
Oh, yeah.
legendary.
Lucky Dragon.
It's like Dragon Seed.
Chinese. It has 4 different names.
Yeah.
It's
Is it-
Chinese buffet.
That's what
The
he's
same
talking
place?
about, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right off the square.
Yeah.
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 It's the only one.
Yeah.
And I loved it, but I gotta understand why maybe fancier people don't.
Yeah.
But now there's Bamboo House, which we went there today for lunch. That place
Bamboo House is
so
legit,
good,
dude.
yes.
The sushi's good.
The sushi is not what you would expect Bonham sushi.
No, nor is the like it's again, this is how you know Bonham's changing. Like you go in there and the wait staff look like you're in Austin. And you're like, this is where they
we
are
were
coming.
talking about that
Yeah,
today.
that was our discussion.
I
Lunch
said
today,
there
we're
is a certain breed of worker here
Yes.
that
Well,
is not as
it's not representative of what Bonham was.
yes.
So I think it's interesting because I don't mind the aesthetic, and if you think about it, like you have a legit Asian place that's got good food. That's I think there's going to be some like more progressive type. I mean, that
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
kind of makes sense. Like they're not going to go work at the Sonic,
Right.
They're going to work here. I'm a big Bamboo House fan. Honestly,
It's so good.
it is.
But then they put that Toro place in,
yeah.
and we tried that. That's a new Mexican restaurant there.
Where's that?
Restaurant.
It's right on down. It's downtown. The decor and everything's really nice. It's
Really?
very
A
modern.
Bonhamite friend of mine said it's fantastic.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that, and I'm hearing that we're getting a winery where they do wine tasting and that kind of thing.
You mean
downtown.
it's going to give Homestead a?
So you won't be taking them to the
Ivanhoe?
Dragon Seed. You'll be taking them to the wine tasting
Yeah.
place.
You guys gotta try this
There you go.
wine.
Closing deals there, right?
Yeah.
Listen, that wine could be straight from a Kroger jug, and I'd be like, "This is the best wine I've ever had." I don't know.
Ivanhoe's up. They've got a winery, don't they?
Yeah, it's
It is
Homestead, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That
So-
Toro place. So
Private-
I had the what is it? The Laredo, and it's basically everything that you would have on a steak fajita on like a bed of rice.
Oh,
It was pretty good.
nice. Carb friendly.
Rice
Yeah.
bowl on a plate.
The portions are a little bit smaller, I think.
Yeah,
than
we
you'd
had
expect.
lunch too.
Yeah,
so-
it was
Yeah.
lunchtime.
They would be smaller then.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I ate at Los Amigos the other day, first time in a long time. It was awesome.
I love Los Amigos.
Yeah, well, we grew up eating there.
Yeah.
You know, we went to high school here, so we drive up there and go to Los Amigos.
What was the one out at west of town?
Rolando's?
Rolando's. Yeah.
Rolando.
I love
yeah.
Rolando's too.
Rolando's.
RIP right there.
Yeah.
Well, so did it die too?
It's gone.
Yeah,
It's
because
gone.
they were in the
By the
country
golf course
club
eventually.
as well,
Yeah.
and then that all whatever happened.
Is the
They were
golf
good.
course still open out there?
Oh, it's booming.
Legacy Ridge, is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
they've actually. I heard them say the other day their business is up like 30%.
Wow.
You know, one of the things.
COVID.
COVID. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize. And I went to a seminar here a while back. You know, just kind of getting back to talking about people living at the lake and the way Fannin County is going to change. Before COVID, before all this hit, they said they estimated 5% of the people worked legitimately from home 100% of the time.
Yeah.
During the peak of it, when COVID was going on, there was about 45% were actually staying home. And what employers have discovered is that they're getting more productivity. It's costing them less because they don't have buildings and air conditioning and all that stuff to pay. And the employees are happier and producing more. And when everything shakes out and is done, they're estimating that and this is DFW specific, that Dallas-Fort Worth will have approximately 30% of its workforce full-time from home.
Yeah.
And I can tell you from experience, when our phone rings constantly. I get to work from home now. I want to come to Fannin County and
How often is that?
3-4 times a week?
Well,
Man.
Yeah, we're
so
we're
they're either
getting
moving out of Dallas to the suburbs, or not suburbs, but the outskirts, or they're moving out of town. I would
We were
assume.
busier than we had ever been
Yeah.
when COVID was peaking because people said, some of it was, I just want to park an RV and get away from the craziness.
Yeah.
Now it's
I've seen more RVs in the past year than I think I've ever seen in my life.
now
Of people either building or just sitting there for as long as they can, stand
Well,
it.
they sold their house, and they're like, "Well, I made a fortune selling my house. I don't want to pay a fortune, so they're
Yeah.
just gonna sit at
Wait till that
RV
bubble
park.
bursts.
Yeah.
And these little RV there's a phenomenon you've probably heard of it, the digital nomads.
Yeah.
And they can work anywhere. So they go park their RV here for a while or there for a while.
So I was, I have an RV, and I was getting it, out of maintenance or whatever. And I met this girl. I used to work for Dell, and this lady was sitting next to me, and we just struck up a conversation waiting on our RVs, and that's what she is. She was like, I survived cancer and COVID, and I figured, all right, I'm going to just sell my house. And she bought an RV and like a FJ Cruiser that she tows behind it, and she worked completely remote, and she spent most of her time in Montana, some in Colorado. She's down in the southeast right now. We've kept up, and that's just what she does. She works from her RV, and I'm like, that sounds awesome.
Well, there's
Yeah,
a lot
it's-
of those folks parked right up in Fannin County,
Yeah.
but a lot of the people that have lived down there, they've got the ability now,
Yeah.
and they're coming out there and they're looking to build houses.
Yeah.
And it's not just lake. There's a lot of stuff around there. There's a lot of people.
Well, the COVID thing, you talked about the craziness. A lot of the more preparedness-minded people, or people that have been thinking about that, they're like, this is it.
Yeah.
So we're getting out of the city. And,
Yeah.
You saw an exodus there.
I've met
Well,
a bunch of them.
And
Yeah.
being down there in Grapevine, I'm in the heart of it, and there is also just this unmistakable influx of population of people from other places that are that have moved there, and it's noticeable. You just you go outside or you go to a restaurant and prices go up continuously.
Yeah.
And it's not just because of inflation and stuff. It really feels like there's this is okay.
Yeah.
Whereas if those people may not have moved there, it might not have been as okay.
Absolutely.
So a lot of those people, living.
I think
in
you just
that.
defined inflation. Well, not defined, but I think that's probably a lot of that too.
I don't want to
but
scare
it is, but
anybody,
it's
but
also
the
the
dollar is
climate.
worthless.
It is.
Are you saying like people are coming from places where it's more expensive, they're used to paying it, and they're not so sticker shock when they see those prices,
Yeah.
and then we're ended up paying.
Come from Utah or California or
yeah.
Colorado, you just what's $55 to go out to eat?
Right.
We go to Colorado every year for vacation, Southwest Pagosa Springs, and right before COVID, well, every year we go there. We're like, we need to buy a place up here. We come up here all the time. Let's buy a place. And there were so many awesome places. It never really recovered from 2008, right? Because it was kind of a resort community anyway, right, or a vacation community. And man, I mean, you could buy amazing properties for very little money.
Wow.
And we just kind of never did, right? We already had a place to stay, and anyway, COVID happened, and man, we missed the boat on that because what now, like we went up there and we looked at some properties just like in a neighborhood, kind of needed some work or whatever, $500,000,
Wow.
$600,000, and you're like, what?
Yeah,
This is 1,500 square feet.
I used to drive up to Colorado and go through Pueblo, and I was like, I remember like that was my, like if someone asked me like, what would you say is like the worst place in the United States? I'd be like, probably Pueblo,
My ex-wife
Colorado.
is from
Raton
there.
Pass.
You know what?
I said my ex-wife is from there.
See, I told
It
you.
is the worst place. Sorry, I didn't say that.
That place, I can't believe it. It's taking off.
It is.
And it was. So that's some good hope for Fannin County right there. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
For the longest time, it was the poorest county in the state, I believe. Do you know
And?
where it stands now?
Fannin County?
Yeah.
It was the poorest county in the country for a while.
Was it?
Yeah.
Fannin County, I'd always heard it was one of three. It was like the third poorest. But when I
Wow.
was growing up, it goes.
It
It's
won't be
wrinkles.
for long.
It's not
Oh,
now.
not
I-
yet.
I
That's good. I was always embarrassed by that.
yeah. It's changing rapidly. There's so much, and unfortunately, a lot of the folks who fit that demographic, they're in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Right.
They've gone to Delta County or
Well, and they're all
Oklahoma.
rich from selling their land on
Yeah.
a lake.
Exactly.
Yeah, they might actually. I think they actually moved to Pueblo.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
They flew to Pagosa in their private jet.
Yeah. So back to the lake. It's a largely recreational lake, being put in a pretty rural area and undeveloped area. Are there any like hunting ranches or anything like that nearby for the huntsmen that might be
That
looking
already
for?
exist and will be affected.
Maybe no, is nearby like I don't know if there's any sort
As
of
a draw?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if they're gonna you got the fishing side of the lake. I wonder if there's gonna be some hunting allowed on that, like duck hunting or whatever. Because you can like
On
hunt
the
Ray Bob
lake?
and Lake Louisville.
I'm not
and all
saying
that.
on the lake. I'm saying like near the lake or
Yeah.
somebody who's using that as a draw. Or do you know anything
Yeah,
of that sort?
There's some guys up there who've got some very. I mean, there's a guy up there with close to 1,000 acres.
Okay.
That he.
Must be
It's pretty much his personal thing.
Yeah.
He doesn't really invite people on there, but there was a place I looked at last year, showed to a client, and it was like 250 acres and a hunting property with a big cabin on it. I had no idea it was there.
Wow.
And the people that were looking to buy it were looking to turning it into a hunting lodge. So there is some of that stuff going on. I just put a tract under contract. Guy bought it just for investment purposes, but it has been a hunting.
Yeah.
They used to call it the wolf pen.
Okay.
And it was fenced all the way around. So.
I wonder if they'll take 15 million Shiba Inu.
Probably not.
They better. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
There's actually across from the tract that we looked at a few weeks ago. There was a state-owned dove hunting area, and it's surprising when I was down in DFW, and we were actually, my wife and I were trying to move up here, and the inventory was so limited that we could not find a place to move to. We were looking mainly in Honey Grove because that's where my dad moved and
Sure.
he lives there. And I would talk to people and I'd say, yeah, we're looking to move to Honey Grove. And most times I expect them to be like, where's that?
Yeah.
But actually a lot of people either hunt there and know about it, or I guess they had an episode of Dawson's Creek that the Honey Grove High School was
That's
featured in,
funny.
and an alarming amount of people
Wow.
knew about Honey Grove because of that episode.
We're gonna have to dig into
Yeah.
that.
Huh.
I think it's either
Mark that.
Dawson's Creek or One Tree Hill. I get those two mixed up
Sure,
because I've
yeah.
never watched either of them.
Yeah.
So,
Fair
that's
enough.
okay.
Now, that being said, I actually am taking a listing tomorrow with 146 acres and an 11-acre lake on it for ducks and 2 other ponds that is perfect for hunting.
What was it,
So
$60
somebody
million
wants to buy
or
it?
something?
Man.
No, it's only 1.6.
Only. It's actually sweet though. You have this 11-acre. This place is unbelievable. You have this 11-acre pond, and I'm using my hands to describe this. So if you're listening, I'm sorry, but it's like a basin, and so you enter into this property and you pull up onto this basin where it just goes down into this. I could not imagine owning that place for duck hunting or anything. Just owning it at all, honestly.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
How close is that to the lake?
Well, as the crow flies, about 5 miles.
Oh,
Yeah, it's south of 82.
Cool.
So it's not
It's
by
at
the way.
Wyndham, Texas.
You got an
that's a
11-acre
steal.
lake. What do you care?
Yeah.
It's a steal.
It is.
It really,
Yeah.
it's a
You'll
great
get
property.
your money back.
It's got a huge Quonset hut on it, 2,300 square foot Quonset hut for a barn, and then another one that they've started for a residence, and it's great. And then has all that hunting area on it.
Where do you see growing residentially that maybe already exist? Honey Grove, Wyndham, what do you see booming
Honey Grove.
first?
I
Honey Grove.
talked with the Honey Grove mayor the other day. I sat with him and a gentleman who owns a $75 million manufacturing plant in Canada, and he was frustrated with Justin Trudeau.
Yeah.
Trudeau.
Whatever his name is, the Cuban guy's
Yeah.
son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite conspiracy theory.
It's not. Have you seen the pictures?
It's pretty.
They look
anyway,
exactly alike.
I'm the.
Sorry.
I feel like
This-
we're on the same.
This
like,
guy, yeah.
getting
I
off
think,
track.
I think this guy gets it.
You didn't know you
No,
stumbled.
you both do.
You didn't know you stumbled onto a very anarcho-capitalist podcast. Right?
Here we are.
Yeah.
That's my favorite conspiracy theory, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he was, and it was funny because he's from, like, just north of Detroit, in this a completely different place than Honey Grove. And he was like, "Yeah, I want to meet with the mayor," and I was like, "Yes." And he's like, "I've got a 50-page presentation," and we made it to page 2 because
The mayor's like, "Yep,
yeah, he's
bring
like,
it."
He's like, "Hey man,
He's like, I want to. All right, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
let me tell you about Mary and the property she owned." It was just like,
Yeah.
he wanted
Yeah.
to talk about
It's
just a different feel.
Yeah.
And
When worlds
there's-
collide.
that
is what
that
that
was
is.
yes, and that was a very eye-opening thing for me. I was like, man, you're gonna have to, if you really want to approach this where you're trying to find a place to lay down your new plant, you're gonna have to understand how people think here, and they don't.
Yeah. It's just different cultures, man.
They're just
Yeah.
happy someone's coming here.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, when I was trying to find a place in Honey Grove, it was baffling. There's just nothing's available. Nobody wants to sell, and as soon as something goes on the market, it sells pretty
See,
quickly.
I try to keep my eye on commercial real estate and just stuff in general. And Honey Grove, I've always noticed is all kinds of stuff available.
Commercial, yes.
Okay.
So the commercial market, because so many people work from home, is actually not in the same boom that residential is.
Gotcha.
In fact, I would say it's in a trough.
Okay.
Wow.
So it's actually, if you're looking for
Probably a
commercial
good time to
property-
buy.
Yes,
Yeah.
I would
Like
say,
all those cool downtown buildings are for sale. Like if I wasn't so far from Honey Grove, they got some cool ones.
well, we
One of those just sold.
Did it?
Did it
the
sell?
old
Is there a
hardware
big bank building or?
Yeah, the big old hardware.
Okay.
That took up like most of the
Uh-huh.
block. Yeah, we showed that the other day, and the next day it went under contract.
Cool.
that's not the one that we looked at together though, where we had to go outside to come back into it.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh wow, that one. Can I say the? Can I say the word brothel in this?
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%. Oh,
Yeah.
we've said worse.
There were
Yeah.
things written on the doorways in the second story of this building,
Make you blush.
extremely indicative of
Past lives.
yes,
Yeah.
of an interesting line of work being conducted up there.
Yeah.
And that
The
place,
oldest profession, if
like
you will.
like tally marks or like
No, like-
Like how much this girl was owed. And
Oh,
how much-
wow.
or
So yes, tally marks.
yeah, kind of. Yeah.
the word slap followed by other words.
Wow.
If that's as vague
I'd
as
like
I
to
can
have seen
get.
that.
It was
Yeah.
fascinating, and that place was so cool. But
You're like,
it was
never got
not
him out of there.
maintained. Yeah, it was definitely
Lots of work to be done.
you're just in the.
I've got a great joke right now, but I can't tell it.
Can we mute the mics?
I'll
'Cause
tell you after.
I'm not gonna forget.
Oh, can I just
Yeah, mute
no?
it,
Because
mute it.
it'll go
Just
through your
mute
mic.
the
everything.
mic, tell the joke, and then you'll get us laughing,
Yeah.
and everybody will have FOMO.
All right.
All right.
Pause, everybody.
Here we go. Do you know why a one-story whorehouse is better than a two-story whorehouse?
No.
Why?
No.
That's good. And that was a good cutaway.
Oh, okay, I
by the
get it.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was not expecting to not be able to hear you
Yeah.
in my headphones.
Did you catch it?
Yeah.
Can we run that again? I'm just gonna laugh
Okay. Yeah.
because I want to laugh authentically.
Pull this away.
Yes.
Why is a one-story whorehouse better than a two-story whorehouse?
Why?
No.
Oh my
See,
god!
There you go. Just for PG ratings.
Playing
you
around
should have
with
said
production
brothel.
here. I've never done that before,
was
so I don't know
well
how that's going to
worth-
work out, or it's just going to be like there.
9 people are going to be upset. Okay.
But the properties in
It's a good joke,
Honeygrove I think are super. I think there's a lot of commercial opportunity there. I wish Honeygrove was an opportunity zone.
It's out there.
Perfect.
far out there.
Is there a way to
far
nominate
out
it?
The lake gives it relevance.
It does. The higher end homes,
Yeah.
in my opinion, on the lake are going to be on that. Farm to
East
Market
side.
100 runs straight north out of Honeygrove and goes up there by the dam. That's where a lot of these developments are going to be.
And that's like on the Texas Lakes Trail, right? There's a like Ivanhoe, a telephone, and back over in there. It's on some sort of trail. I saw a sign once. I don't know. So, oh yeah.
Do you guys have any properties you want to talk about? You talked about a few of them. Anything you want to promote or services or specifics? We've talked about a bunch, but if there's any last things y'all want to.
I think I've talked about my most important ones. Well, actually, I've got one that's really neat right now.
Yeah.
I have 13 acres with like a barn dominium on it, and it also has 5 cabins, and you can throw a rock and hit the water.
Yes.
Sold.
Sold.
Okay.
Yep.
$7.99. It's ready to go.
$7.09.
Is there any veteran like grants or anything I can take advantage of?
Yeah. Oh my goch. Have you not the Veterans Land Board?
Well, yeah, I'm
okay.
familiar with that.
Well, then that
That
killed
probably
all my
wouldn't.
excitement.
That wouldn't qualify though, would it? The
Why wouldn't
VLB?
it qualify?
I don't know.
That
We'll
one's-
talk.
So that's a chunk. You can
Yeah.
you can do up to 200,000, I think, or 150,000,
go.
and that's always a chunk.
you
That's
can
what I tell
close by
people.
mail on that too. I think you can.
That's archaic.
There's 5
yeah.
acres on that one that can be split off, and you can build a house on it, so you could do that possibly.
But I think we're early to property availability, and I don't want to. I mean, if you want to buy today, I'll help you out. But
Sure.
I would say that we got a lot coming our way, and you haven't missed the boat.
Oh, that's good
You're
to
a
know.
pioneer if you're in right now. I think Dave might get mad at me for saying that later.
Early adopter.
but- yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
I
I've
think
heard
I got.
about this.
Yeah, this is the 5 questions.
You've heard about it,
I
I feel
have.
like we've
Man.
done something right.
dude. Okay. Do you have you have one lined up?
Hold on.
We got a little section of this show called 5 Questions, where we ask you 5 random questions out of this jar. I'm going to start it off here. Have you ever painted your face or chest for a sporting event?
Me? No.
No.
right.
I haven't.
Thought you might have.
I appreciate
Sorry, I thought you might have.
Yeah.
It was the beard.
It's the beard. Definitely the beard. What album, song, or artist is playing on your stereo or iPad right now? Like if you get in your car, what's probably going to come up?
I've been listening to this band called Polyphia that I've been hooked
Goat.
on. Yes, man.
Yeah.
They are unbelievable. They have them, dude. We might need to hang out.
know,
You and I are
I
on
know.
the same
Yeah.
wavelength.
Yeah. I watched the video today. I'm kind of getting into watching the reactions to the video.
Yes.
Like music teachers and stuff.
Did you watch the guy with the short hair
Yep.
who was like baffled? I watched the same thing.
Yeah,
Did
he was
you-
like, "What is
You
this?"
two just become
Who's-
best friends.
yeah.
I actually
We
saw
did.
them. I saw them live two
What?
Tuesdays ago.
Well, isn't one of the guitars from Dallas?
They're all from Plano,
Oh, okay. There you go.
and
yeah.
they're unbelievable. Anyway,
Yes, they are.
At the same time, answer this question.
Okay.
What's the best dinosaur?
T-Rex.
Yeah. I was actually going to say brontosaurus, but that's okay, just because it's huge.
If you could cheat on your wife with one male celebrity,
Male?
who would it be?
Whoa.
Yeah, John Stamos, right?
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
That's
You gotta
supposed to be
go.
John Stamos.
No
Yeah.
wife. No worries.
Sorry, it's, half Step Brothers.
Okay,
John
we already said
Stamos.
this.
I've got Robert Earl Keen on my music.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That
Sorry,
works.
we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a question here. Have you ever been overseas?
Yes.
Yes.
Where
In a boat.
Mhm.
Where-
I mean, I guess. Well, you say
you get-
overseas. I've been to the Caribbean. I mean, that's
Sure.
that is about
That
it.
is overseas.
Yeah.
The Caribbean Sea.
Yep. I've been to the Caribbean. I've
You
been
said
up
by boat?
Well, I was over the sea. No, I was in Afghanistan and Iraq.
Okay.
And Germany, I guess, on the way.
Nice.
Is that Rammstein?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get there by plane?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So what kind of plane was it?
A.
Large one.
Oh my gosh, I should know
Commercial
this.
or military?
It was military. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Probably a
that's I don't know what it
C-17
is.
then.
What is it?
C-17 probably.
Yes.
C-17 or C-5. is
C5,
what
I
you-
think. It was
yeah.
the massive one.
Did it have like airline seats?
Well, it had the. It was modular, so you could load up the
Did you
seats, or
go
you could load up.
upstairs?
No.
Okay, it was a
C7.
C-17.
That helps me
Yeah.
a lot. Thank you.
Yeah.
Air Force guy.
I remember like sitting in it though, and I was like, man, you could throw a party in this thing.
Oh,
It blows
yeah.
my mind.
Well, so the
They-
C5 is ridiculous. It's got 2 stories and like I've thrown footballs in there with people.
Wow.
It's nuts.
pretty
I don't even know how it flies. It's ridiculous. If you could steal credit for any piece of like art or song or film or book, what would you claim? If you were the author or songwriter or whatever.
Oh, you're looking at me, huh?
Well, I've talked a lot. I gotta ease
Sorry, that's
up.
what podcasts are for.
Music or
You know, like I don't know. I might go like the Lord of the Rings for me or something ridiculous, but
for me, it would probably be a song by Hayes Curl called
There you
"For
go.
the Sake of the Song."
okay, yeah,
I like
good one, good one.
I think. Oh,
No, go ahead.
No, I've answered a lot.
I
Go
just
ahead.
cut you off.
Yeah,
I
well,
just
this
say
is
it's
for y'all.
pronounced Skinnerd. I think that would be pretty cool to have my name slapped on.
Yeah,
It's a pretty good album.
yeah.
All right.
What about you, Matthew?
Oh,
we
man.
always change.
I don't know if I've ever answered this, and I didn't have an answer lined up. Go ahead if you do.
I don't know. Some sort of like great novel. I don't know because
The Bible.
Yeah. No, I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. So like the Lord of the Rings or some like epic work of like fantasy, like back in the golden era, like the Wheel of Time or I don't know, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to answer that. I don't
Okay.
know. I'll think about it.
Well, hit that on the recap, I guess.
Are we on 5? This is
That was
5?
it.
Was that it?
That was it.
Is that
If you
5
got another
questions?
bonus question, go for
I was
it.
just going to ask who would play you if there's a movie about you, if somebody acted as you in a movie. Who would play
John
you?
Stamos. Oh,
Wrong question.
Yeah, you're late, man.
yeah. Sorry.
I'm seeing you from the mic up, but I'm thinking William H. Macy, and then your beard kind of sells it too.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
You don't look like him, but just
Yeah.
don't take offense to that because he can look rough in the old Shameless.
Yeah,
But you know what I mean.
he's a
I
great
think.
actor, though.
He is. He
Yeah.
is.
So
I
Wow.
really dig him as an actor and dude.
Mhm.
yeah.
So don't take offense to that, please.
Okay. I have no idea, to be quite honest with you.
I was trying to think because when I asked that question, I've got to have somebody kind of on deck too.
Mhm.
What would you say, Ryan?
I'm not sure about Ryan.
Oh, I know.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. No, I was going to say the dude that played Opie in Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
Beard.
Good one.
Yeah.
Oh, there we
Sons of
go.
Anarchy.
I've seen it. I don't remember who Opie is.
Well, I mean, Brad Pitt,
I think he's a
yeah,
ball. I think it's
exactly.
yeah,
George
right.
Clooney for
Yeah.
me.
of course, but you know,
No,
want to be
Opie,
realistic.
he was also in like he played he was in like Remember the Titans and he was in other
Yeah.
stuff.
Wait, he was
Yeah.
in Remember the Titans. I know that movie.
Yeah, hold on.
What's his name? Yeah, you got it. You got it there.
I will.
You
I'll pull
forgot
it up.
the
I've got
Titans.
opposable thumbs.
When I was 50 pounds lighter and had no beard, people always said Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, okay. That's a good one. He's
But-
got his doctorate. Do you know that?
Me too. So it's
Do
good.
you really?
Dang.
I would
No.
not be sitting in this room
Why not?
because
Yeah.
I would probably be on a
So-
national podcast.
That's
You'd
right.
be
that's right.
practicing somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. I'd like to think. Actually, I'd probably end up with a doctorate in a like field that's not of any value.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Ryan Hurst is his name, and it's that.
Oh,
guy.
that's totally me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Opie.
Opie. R.I.P.
So.
That guy has more hair than me by
R.I.P..
at least 1,000%.
Yeah.
You should watch some Sons of Anarchy.
You never seen it?
I've seen some episodes, and you're right. I should watch it.
Yeah, it's good. So
What do I say? It's a comparison of?
it's like Yellowstone, but
Yeah,
with
yeah,
motorcycles.
yeah.
So
That's
I need to watch
exactly-
Yellowstone too. I keep
Yellowstone's
hearing
great. Yellowstone is like Sons of Anarchy with horses.
Yep.
My wife hadn't seen Lost yet, so I made her watch that with me.
Still not done it.
I'm not.
recently.
I've gotten pretty deep, but then I gave up. I was
Can't
like,
give up. You gotta stick it out.
I was deep into college at that point in my life, and I just totally missed Lost.
how's
just
that
never
going
went
for
back.
you?
Oh, it's fine. I'm doing a podcast here. Out
You don't have a doctorate?
Out of a stinky room in Leonard, Texas on the square.
Yep. Hey, well, we really appreciate y'all coming in. How do we get a hold of you, or how does interested parties get a hold of you? If you know,
Easiest way is just to call the office or call
just Google FMI Realty Bonham.
FMI Realty. Our emails are on there. Emails, phone calls.
Yeah, I'll give out my
text
email.
us.
Do it.
Ryan@beaudarklake.com. If you don't know how to spell it, it's French. It's BOISDARCLAKE.com. If you want to give them your email too. I think
Mine
that'd be
is
easiest.
T as in Tom, D as in David, CULLAR, TDColor@gmail.com.
So that would mean you own BodarkLake.com?
My father owns it.
Okay, cool.
He's also
Nepotism.
he's
well,
also
I
an
own
agent with us.
Bodark Lake Rats on Instagram.
He does.
And Bodark, what was it?
Bodark Lake Rats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
'Cause he's a
And
lake
Bodark
rat.
Lake Life.
That's pretty cool.
So whenever it gets going,
Hashtag Bodark Lake Life.
yeah.
I'm an island boy.
I'm an island boy. Yes. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
You guys quote some serious internet humor. I got
Yeah.
that one.
I'm a TikTok guy. I love it. I think TikTok's great. So
I listen to stuff or watch stuff from him.
yeah, I send it to him.
I can't have TikTok because I will sit there for way too long.
It's weird. I go through cycles. Like I'll sit there this weekend and TikTok, and then I won't touch it for a week. It's weird.
I can't take on another social
It's
network.
like steroids.
It is.
Just cycle
It
on
is.
and off it.
That's it.
I just do them in the gym parking lot.
TikToking in the
Me
gym
and
parking
TikTok
lot.
too. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about steroids.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
I'm the old guy. I'm still trying to figure out how to use the internet.
Yeah.
You got
well, yeah,
you got that
okay.
crypto thing going. You don't need the
Yeah.
internet.
You're gonna own the internet before
Yeah.
long.
I don't know. About
I guess
that.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having us,
Yeah,
guys.
David Ryan, FMI Realty. Thank you very much. Get in touch. We got some music for you.